Hi, boys and girls. I'm going to read to you today Little Miss Shy. Little Miss Shy just couldn't help it, being shy, that is. She was terribly, desperately shy. She was so shy it hurt, which is why they call it painfully shy. If any time at all, anyone at all, would say anything to her at all, she blushed as red as a beet. She lived all alone in a little house quite a long way from where you and I live. In fact, quite a long way from where anybody lives. She lived in Thimble Cottage. Little Miss Shy was so shy she couldn't bring herself to leave her little cottage. She never went shopping. The thought of walking into a shop and asking for something was absolutely terrifying. So she grew her own food in the garden at Thimble Cottage, and she lived a very quiet life. Very, 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 very quiet indeed. Bang, bang, bang! Little Miss Shy was having breakfast in the kitchen of Thimble Cottage. She drove under the table in terror. But it was only the postman knocking at the door. "Anybody home?" he called. Little Miss Shy, under the table, put her hands over her ears and just shut her eyes. She must be out, thought the postman to himself, and he pushed the letter through the mail slot in the front door and walked away. Little Miss Shy waited and waited and waited until the sound of his footsteps had died away, and then she waited some more. In fact, she spent most of the day under her kitchen table. It was dark by the time Little Miss Shy dared to come out. There it was on the floor, the very first letter she's gotten in her whole life. She opened it cautiously. It was from Mr. Funny. "You are invited," said the letter, "to a party," it went on Saturday, it said, "at 3 o'clock. It added, "It's going to be fun, fun, fun." Little Miss Shy was horrified. She looked at the letter again. "I can't go," she thought. "I can't. There'll be people there. People!" In the whole wide world, there was absolutely nothing that frightened Little Miss Shy as much as the thought of people. She worried about it all night long. But the following morning, she made a decision. "I have to go," she thought. It wouldn't be polite not to. But 5 minutes later, she changed her mind. And 5 minutes later, she changed her mind back again. But 5 minutes later, guess what happened? That's right. She changed her mind. She didn't sleep at all that night. That following day was Friday. And that Friday, Little Miss Shy changed her mind 144 times. And how many times? That's how many 5 minutes there are in a day. She's going to the party. She's not going to the party. She's going to the party. She's not going. She's going. She's not. Over and over. She was. She wasn't. She was. It was such a long day. And that Friday night was even worse than Thursday night had been. She didn't sleep a wink. Not even half a wink. Sunday morning came and went. Saturday lunchtime came and went. And Little Miss Shy just couldn't eat a thing. 1 o'clock in the afternoon came and went. 2 o'clock in the afternoon came and went. And then 3 o'clock, the party time came. And went. Poor Little Miss Shy. She didn't go. She couldn't. She just sat there, and a tear rolled down her cheek. "Oh, I wish I wasn't so shy," she sobbed. 4 o'clock came, and there was a loud knock on the door. Little Miss Shy hid behind the chair. The door opened. And in walked Mr. Funny. I knew you wouldn't come, he laughed, looking at her behind the chair. So, he went on, I've come to take you. Little Miss Shy blushed and blushed and blushed. Come on, come on, come on, come on, cried Mr. Funny, taking her by the hand. You'll enjoy yourself once you're there. And he marched the blushing little lady off to his party. Everybody was there. At first, little Miss Shy didn't feel very well at all. But everybody talked to her, and everybody was very nice. And gradually, the longer the party lasted, bit by bit, little by little, eventually, guess what happened? She stopped blushing and actually started to enjoy herself. I told you so, laughed Mr. Funny. Little Miss Shy nodded and giggled. She was having the time of her life and only blushing just a little bit. And do you know whom she met at the party? Mr. Quiet. I used to be shy like you, he said. Little Miss Shy looked at him. I don't believe you. And then she had a thought. Would you like to come to Thimble Cottage for tea tomorrow, she asked. Mr. Quiet looked at her. Me? He said, blushing like a beet. Tea? He said, blushing like 2 beets. Tomorrow? He said, blushing like a whole bunch of beets. And then he fainted. Little Miss Shy